I wanted to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life, to live so sturdily and Spartan-like as to put rout all that was not life, to cut a broad swath and shave close, to drive life into a corner, to reduce it to its lowest terms, and if it proved to be mean, why then to get whole and genuine meanness out of it, and publish that meanness to the world. Henry David Thoreau. In mid-19th century America, a philosophical movement called Transcendentalism sprouted out of discontent with the current society and its institutions. It was grounded by central beliefs like idealism, individualism, and the unity of man, Mother Earth, and the cosmos. You may have heard of the credited father of this movement, American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson. He united many writers and thinkers with the same beliefs. One of them was Henry David Thoreau. He took a particular liking in Thoreau and served as a mentor for the fellow Harvard grad and Massachusetts native. These two were the most prominent figures in the Transcendentalist movement. So what happens when Thoreau has an idea inspired by Transcendentalist philosophy for an experiment to escape what he considered over-civilization, immerse himself entirely in nature and isolation, and illustrate the benefits of a simplified lifestyle? Emerson lends a plot of land he owns to Thoreau for his experiment deep within the woods next to Walden Pond in Concord, Massachusetts. In the spring of 1845, Thoreau constructed a cabin entirely by himself, and as a personal declaration of independence, he moved into the cabin and began his spiritual journey and experiment on July 4th that same year. Thoreau spent the next 2 years, 2 months, and 1 day residing at his new home before going back into civilization. This experiment resulted in Thoreau writing Walden, or Life in the Woods. The novel served as a memoir of the spiritual journey and time spent during his experiment at Walden Pond. Published in 1854, Walden became an iconic piece of American literature. By sharing his story, Thoreau inspired leaders, philosophers, activists, and anyone who read his words. In the novel, Thoreau condenses his quest into 1 year in order to mirror the transformative cycle of the seasons. He uses the qualities of nature during the seasons to symbolize his own personal transformation and development. Starting his story in the spring during his cabin's construction symbolizes the new beginning in his life because of the youth, growth, and awakening of nature that happens in the springtime. Summertime is a time of fulfillment, celebration, along with productivity. This is when Thoreau celebrates his home and the accomplishment of not just constructing a physical home, but creating a reality for himself. He stays active and productive during this time as well by farming a bean field that he planted himself. Fall is a time to harvest the gifts of summer and prepare for the cold, dark winter. Thoreau's bean field harvest creates not only material profit, but an internal profit as well. He also constructs a fireplace to help keep him warm during the bitter cold of winter. The chill of winter brings about loneliness, hibernation, and withdrawal. Thoreau retreats to the warmth of his cabin, embracing solitude, allowing time for ample self-reflection. His conclusion begins with the arrival of spring, bringing about not just the regeneration of nature, but a reawakened, renewed spirit and life. By ending his reflection in spring, the future is left wide open for a new beginning with infinite potential. A major theme in the novel is the importance of the transcendentalist concept of social and economic self-reliance. Values of independence and solitude are emphasized. Thoreau's entire experiment tests and proves the concept. He was able to sustain himself externally, thus allowing himself to feel one with nature and his soul. The memoir of the time spent at Walden Pond not only stresses the importance of self-reliance, but also solitude, simple living, and introspection, while offering a critique of American society. By sharing his story, he not only internally influences readers with his words, but he proves that he accomplished what he set out to do. I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discovered that I have not lived.